What is going on, guys? It is Go Time and Mega Crush, and I welcome you guys back to a brand new video. Now, in tonight's video, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to present you guys with a detailed guide on Cresselia, who is currently live as the new legendary level 5 raid boss. So, if you guys do enjoy this video, then please be sure to show your support by smashing the like button and subscribing if you guys want to see more content from me in the future. With that being said and out of the way, let's get underway with the video. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you guys know, Cresselia is a Gen 4 legendary psychic type Pokemon, and if we go to battle it in a legendary raid battle, it can be weather boosted to level 25 with the windy weather if you go to capture it after successfully beating it in a legendary raid battle. Now, if you guys are 100% IV hunters like I am, then you most certainly want to commit these two figures to memory. So, when it comes to non-weather boosted Cresselia, it will be at level 20, and it will have a CP of the highest value being 1633. Now, if it is to be weather boosted, the CP of the highest value will be 2041. Now, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, if we go ahead and we move on to the stats of Cresselia, it has pretty interesting stats to say the least. It's also definitely one of the lowest CP Pokemon, and one of the reasons being is because of its attack. Its attack is really not that good. It's only base 152. We then take a look at its defense. It is at a colossal 258. And then we take a look at the stamina. It is also at a colossal 260. Now, because of the stat rework as well, this definitely goes against Cresselia, hence why it has such a low CP rating in comparison to other legendary Pokemon. So now, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and let's move on to the moves that Cresselia has. So if we were to take a look at its fast moves, it has Confusion and Psycho Cut, both of which are very good in their own right. Confusion deals damage, while Psycho Cut is a very fast and dodge-friendly move. And then we take a look at its charge moves. Now, it's got Future Sight, which is really good Psychic Stab. It's got Aurora Beam, which is kind of an okay-ish Ice-type move. And we have ourselves Moonblast, which is a pretty solid Fairy-type move. Now, if I was to give you guys my personal recommendation as to what moves you should run on offensive Cresselia, then you most certainly want to go with Confusion and Future Sight, both of which are the best Psychic-type combination to go for, because you could also go for Psycho Cut as well, as it is more dodge-friendly, but also given the fact that Cresselia is very bulky and is meant to take hits, then you could afford to run Confusion to have more power, and Future Sight, well, that's kind of a no-brainer. It's Psychic-type Stab, and it is a very hard-hitting one charge bar psychic move. So now let's move on to its typing specifically when it comes to its strengths and weaknesses. So we then take a look at the resistances first. It is going to have two resistances, that being to the fighting and the psychic type moves. And then we take a look at its weaknesses. It is going to have weaknesses to bug, ghost, and dark type moves. So, given the fact that especially Ghost and Dark type moves are very spammable and very common in the Pokemon Go metagame, then you will have a pretty easy time finding a lot of super effective damage opportunities when facing off against Cresselia. So now, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at my 5 personal picks when it comes to battling against Cresselia. Now, these Pokemon right here, they are based on not just type, not just their stats, but also on their moves as well. So we then take a look first at Mewtwo. Now, this is a wild card here. This is what I would like to call a legacy Mewtwo. The thing is with Mewtwo is that it used to have Shadow Ball back when it was in EX raids, but now the Shadow Ball is a legacy move. Mewtwo is a little bit harder to come by when it comes to it having Shadow Ball. In fact, the only way to get Shadow Ball Mewtwo is if you were to either have had EX raid battles in the past and successfully catch Mewtwo, and if you were to trade with someone who has Shadow Ball Mewtwo. So what we have here is we have Psycho Cut and Shadow Ball. Now, Psycho Cut, even though it is a resistant move, it hits very fast, very quick, and builds up meter very, very fast. So therefore, you will be able to get off a lot of Shadow Ball moves, and thus cause a lot of damage to Cresselia. So ladies and gentlemen, coming up next, we have ourselves Tyranitar, and Tyranitar is a no-brainer. With the combination of Bite and Crunch and its solid reliability and efficiency in potion saving and revive saving, this Pokemon is a must-have when it comes to battling against Cresselia. Bite is a very fast Dark-type move, builds up meter quick, and Crunch is a very solid and, in my opinion, very busted Dark-type move that has 3 charge bars, which allows for you to get off Crunch so many times during battle. So coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, we actually have ourselves a new entry here in this, known as Weavile. Weavile is the Gen 4 evolution of Sneasel, with the combination of Feint Attack and Foul Play, and its really high offensive stats. This Pokemon right here is definitely a must-have, and I will say also, you do need to watch out for the likes of Moonblast, and given the fact that Weavile isn't exactly bulky, in fact it's actually quite frail, it's not going to appreciate taking those attacks too well. And same with Tyranitar. Moonblast is going to be super effective against Tyranitar, but even still, Cresselia doesn't exactly have the best offensive stats, so I think you will be okay taking a couple of Moonblasts to the face. And coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves Scizor. Scizor is a very, very nice pick, being able to boast the ability to resist every single attack that Cresselia has. Aurora Beam, forget about it. Moonblast, forget about it. Future Sight, forget about it. With the combination of Fury Cutter and X-Scissor being a very, very deadly bug-type combination of moves right there. Fury Cutter hits insanely hard and insanely fast, and X-Scissor, much like Crunch, has 3 charge bars, allowing for you to get off a multitude of X-Scissors. And last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, we have Metagross. Now, Metagross is a Pokemon that is a very, 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 very broken generalist attacker. And the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, is that ever since the Community Day for Beldum, this Pokemon right here has shot right up to the very top when it comes to good generalist attackers. In my opinion, it's probably the best non-legendary generalist attacker, and it is even comparable to the likes of Rayquaza and Mewtwo. Now, with the combination of Bullet Punch and Meteor Mash, even though it's not super effective damage, this Pokemon has really good total damage overall, really good DPS, and the thing is also is that this Pokemon resists every single attack that Cresselia can throw at it, making this Pokemon a phenomenal must-have in your Cresselia offensive squad. Now, I will also point out, ladies and gentlemen, that there are other Pokemon that you can utilize, such as Houndoom and Gengar. Now, the reason why these are, you could say, more or less honorable mentions is because Houndoom does get outclassed by the likes of Weavile and by the likes of Tyranitar, and Gengar isn't exactly bulky. The thing is also is that this Pokemon will fold very quick to Psychic Offense from Cresselia, because it's not exactly the most bulkiest of Ghost-type Pokemon. But it is still really nice to have if you are lacking these 5 Pokemon in any way, shape, and form, or if you have Pokemon that aren't exactly able to get the job done, and you have a Gengar that is able to get the job done in filling a slot on your Cresselia team, then you can most certainly go for something like Gengar as well. And that's going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. I want to say thank you guys very much for tuning in to tonight's presentation of this Cresselia guide. I want to say, once again, thank you guys so very much for all the love and support that you've been showing my content. And if you guys do enjoy this video, then please be sure to show your support by smashing the like button and subscribing if you want to see future content from me again. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, have yourself a good night, and I'll see you next upload!